All right. Hello, everyone. I hope that you're all very inspired from that pretty amazing story. I know I was. So we're going to take the next 20 minutes to stretch out a little bit, do some breath work, and just try to shake off some of this anxiety that I know all of us have been unfortunately dealing with. If you have a yoga mat, by all means, go ahead and roll that out. But if you don't, a blanket will be just fine. So get comfortable. Hopefully that you have a spot somewhere that you can just roll out your mat or blanket, and we can start with a little bit of breath work. All right, so here we go. All right. So go ahead and cross your legs in front of you. Maybe roll around a little bit on the hips. Take the shoulders up to the ears. Press the shoulders back. And then just relax the shoulders down. We always say in yoga that there are options, lots and lots of options. And the option that I'm going to start off with right now is to either keep your hands pressing down into your knees if you feel like you can use a little bit of grounding. Or if you feel like you are feeling a little less than, a little bit kind of unsettled, then maybe flipping your palms up towards the sky. And that's going to help to give us a little bit of extra energy, right? So a couple of breaths here before we start to move. So in your seated position, this is what we call Sukhasana, or easy seat in yoga in our Sanskrit. Begin to pull your shoulders back over your hips, and then feel your crown, top of the head, reach up towards the sky. Go ahead and close the eyes, and then take a great big breath in. So pull in all the air. Hold that breath at the top. And then on your exhale, just let it go. Let's go through 3 more rounds of that. Breath in. Hold. And breath out. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. One last time, deepest breath, pull in all the air. On your exhale, open up your mouth and let it all go. From here, go ahead and bring your palms together at your heart center. So press palm into palm and bring your thumbs into your heart space. From here, we're gonna take a moment of gratitude for this PCMA Spark event, gratitude for our industry as a whole, and just remembering that a lot of folks are going through some rough times right now. So sending a little bit of extra love and energy to those folks. Bringing your thumbs up to your forehead, and then taking a moment to bow, just as an acknowledgement, gratitude for all of the things that we have, all of the joy inside of us. And then from here, lift your head back up. Go ahead and open up your eyes and bring your hands to your knees. So we're going to start to take what I call Kundalini rolls. So you start to reach your chest forward and then start to pull yourself back. So you feel that rounding through the spine, and then come forward, bending the elbows as you make your way through your circle. Noticing the belly button. Can you pull the belly button into the spine? Nice. Let's take it one more time in this direction. And then when you make it back through center, just simply switch out the roll. So from the opposite direction. Maybe you'll notice that you start to find a little bit more space. You can open up a little bit more and take a little bit deeper stretch as you find your way around that circle. Last time. And then coming back through center. From here, we're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. Go ahead and send your gaze up towards those fingertips. And then on your next breath, go ahead and release your right hand down to the ground. So press that right palm into the ground, reach up through that left hand, and then send that left arm up and over, maybe bending into that right elbow. So here we go, options. Gaze either down towards that bottom hand, maybe just out in front of you, or if you feel like you're ready for a little bit more of a neck stretch, gaze up and underneath of that left arm. Notice if your left hip starts to pop up, press it down. Take one more breath right here. And then come back through center. Reach up, palms touch. This time releasing that left hand down. Press into the mat, lift up through those right fingertips, and then take it over to the side. Finding a nice side body stretch here. Lots of space opening up through the side body, but being mindful to keep those hips pressing into the mat. Maybe gaze up. One more deep breath. And then let's just start to flow from side to side. So take it over towards the right, bring it through center, over to the left. Keep going, a couple more times, side to side. Maybe you close the eyes. Just do what feels good here. Should feel that nice stretch all along the side body. One more time. And then eventually finding your way back through center. Again, palms reach up, look up. This time, hands come back to the knees. So release those hands, go ahead and grab onto the knees. And then from here, round into the spine as you bring your chin in towards your chest. So this is our seated cat pose. Hold for another breath. And then start to reach your chest up. Gaze up towards the sky, feeling your heart open up and your shoulders relax down. Seated cat. Beginning to find our way through a few more rounds of our seated cat and our seated cow. Just find your breath. In yoga, we always attempt to match the breath and the movement. Let's 2 more times. Eventually finding our way back through center. One more time to reach those arms up towards the sky. And then from here, just begin to reach your fingertips forward and then release those palms to the ground. Maybe you can wiggle your bum back a little bit further and then begin to bring your chest down towards the ground, our seated forward fold. So elbows can stay lifted, or if you feel like you want to release the elbows to the ground, and then begin to let your head come down towards the ground. So for some of us, we can get the forehead down to the ground, but if not, just let your head hang heavy here, feeling a nice stretch all along the spine. If you have any sort of low back problems, any sort of disc issues or anything through the low back, this should feel like a nice stretch. One last breath right here. And then begin to lift your head up, look at your thumbs. And then from here, we're going to find our way over onto our hands and knees. So just begin to roll yourself up and over, coming into what we call tabletop position. Okay? So here in tabletop, we'll again find our way through a couple more rounds of those cat and cows. So drop the belly down, send the gaze up, and then press into the hands, round into the spine. 2 more rounds each direction. Again, noticing breath meeting movement. Last time through. Wonderful. All right, come into neutral tabletop. And then from here, we're going to curl the toes under. Start to lift your knees off the ground and then send your hips up to the sky into our downward facing dog. So maybe separating those feet to about hip distance. And if you were to measure that out, there would be two fists in between the feet, all right? So we're just gonna hang out here for a couple of breaths. Try not to feel like you have to drop your heels to the ground. Just notice where the heels are in space, but you want your chest to begin to pull back towards your thighs so that you can feel that nice stretch. Again, along the spine, along the backs of the hamstrings. Let your head just hang heavy. Take one more breath right here, Urdhva Mukha, downward facing dog. And then look towards your thumbs and then slowly begin to walk your hands all the way up to your thumbs, okay? Once you get there, we can easily measure out now. So bring those 2 fists to the inside of the feet. And then bring your hands to the fronts of your shins and then lift up. Yeah, long spine here. Take a big breath. And then on your exhale, release down into our fold. So grab onto opposite elbows. See if you can't take some of the bend out of the knees, but feel free to keep the knees bent as much as you need to. And then let your head again just hang heavy. Here in our ragdoll, we're just gonna let it all go. So feel all of that anxiety, any to-do lists, responsibilities, just let it go, all right? Just maybe even find a little sway from side to side. Take a breath. Release the hands, bend into the knees, and begin to rise all the way up, reaching the arms back up towards the sky, bringing those palms to touch overhead. And then this time, use your right hand to grab onto your left wrist. Feel a nice big reach up, and then take a side body stretch. Again, this time, same thing, but noticing the difference between being in a standing position versus seated. Bring it back through center. Just switch out the grip of your hands, and then take it over to the opposite side. Come back through center. Reach the fingertips up to the sky. And then bring your hands down by your sides. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down a couple times to take a couple shoulder rolls here. And then switch the direction. Bring the shoulders forward. Nice. Bring your hands down by your sides and then flip your palms so that they're facing forward. Your pinky fingers pressing into your thighs. And then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Bring your chin into your chest. And then left ear, left shoulder. One more time, bring the chin through to the chest. And then right ear to right shoulder. Try to lift your head back up. Sweep your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And then press your palms or your fists down towards the ground. Okay? We're just going to come into another fold here, but this is a nice way to get a shoulder stretch in. Okay, so we've got that grip, that fist behind us. Go and roll your shoulders back again. Maybe sending the gaze up a little bit further, closer towards the ceiling, and then take a nice deep bend in the knees as you bring your chest down towards your thighs. Start to send the fist up and over. Big stretch through the shoulders. Nice. Take one more breath. Exhale. And then from here, bring the hands down right there in front of your feet. Okay. And then press into the feet, come onto the balls of the feet so that you're coming into a little bit of a squat position, okay? Walk your hands behind you and then sit your bum down on the ground. All right. Just a couple more minutes here. So we're gonna extend that right leg out in front of us, okay? And then bring the left foot to the inside of that right leg. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Rotate your chest so that your chest is level with that right thigh. Take a breath. And then on your exhale, fold forward. Bending your knee as much as you need to, but just feel that really nice stretch all along that right hamstring. Maybe your chest comes towards your thigh. For those that are super flexy, maybe you can begin to bring your nose down towards your knee. But don't feel like you have to do anything that feels uncomfortable, painful. You just want to feel a stretch. One more breath right here. And then start to lift yourself back up. From here, bring that left knee up and step the left knee over top of the right leg. Go ahead and reach that left arm up towards the sky. Release it back behind you and then right hand to that left knee. Feel yourself lift up. And then start to take a twist. Look back behind you, behind that left shoulder. Feel your belly button. Again, pulling in one more breath. And then come back through center. Unwind the legs and then switch it out. So this time left leg is straight, right foot to the inside of that left leg, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Again, option to bend that left knee. Gaze towards the toes. Feel yourself reach. And then relax the chest towards the thigh. One more big breath here. Exhale to let it go. Slowly begin to rise up. And then this time bringing that right knee up, step it over top of the left leg, right arm to the sky. Right hand behind you. And then bringing that left hand to the knee. Lift up. And then exhale, twist and look back. One more big breath. Use the exhale to help twist you one more time. And then come back through center. From here, extend both legs out. We're going to come all the way down onto our back. So reach the arms forward, plug the shoulders in, and then slowly roll yourself all the way down to your back. Once you get down to the ground, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe make a couple circles, feeling a little bit of a massage there in the low back. Maybe switching the direction. And then from here, reach your arms out like a T. Go ahead and drop the knees over towards the right. Maybe that right hand helps to guide that left knee a little bit closer to the ground. And maybe the gaze goes over that left hand. One more breath here in your supine twist. And then coming back through center. This time releasing the knees over towards the left. Maybe that left hand helps to bring the knees a little closer to the earth. Gaze over towards that right hand. One more deep inhale. Come back through center. All right, our last pose before we take just a moment in Savasana. We're going to come into our happy laughing baby. So use your hands to grab onto your feet and then hug your knees into your armpits. All right, so you've got bent knees, pressing the tailbone down into the ground. And then just notice what happens when you start to open up through those hips. Maybe you can rock back and forth a little bit. Should feel like a nice stretch for the outer hip as well as the inner groin. One last breath here. Take it side to side. Happy, laughing baby. And then bringing those knees back together. Wrap your arms around, grabbing onto opposite elbows. Squeeze your knees into your chest. And then slowly lower your head down to the ground, extending your legs long. Take just a few breaths here in what we refer to as Savasana, our final resting pose. Releasing the thought, just noticing the breath. Take one more deep breath right here in your Savasana. And then on your next breath, reach your arms up and over your head. Take a great big full body stretch. Oh, reach through the fingers, reach through the toes, maybe some circles through the ankles and the wrists. And then slowly bringing the knees in towards the chest. Go ahead and roll yourself off to one side. And then eventually finding your way back to that easy seat where we began. So back in our easy seat, bringing our palms together at heart center. I always close my yoga classes out with a quote. And I thought that this was something maybe some of you have already seen, but very telling for us planners in our industry. What if 2020 isn't canceled? What if 2020 is the year that we've been waiting for? A year so uncomfortable, so painful, so scary, so raw, that it finally forces us to grow. A year that screams out loud, finally awakening us from our slumber. A year we accept the need for change, declare change, work for change, become the change. A year where we band together instead of pushing one another further apart. 2020 isn't canceled, but rather the most important year of them all. Big breath in, big breath out. Bow your head, bring your thumbs to your forehead. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.